Alright, so, imagine this. You bust your butt for 3 weeks on a work trip, dreaming of nothing but your own bed. Your grandma's silk robe still hanging in your closet, and a glass of the good stuff from your collection. You're exhausted, it's almost midnight, you just want to collapse, and you walk into your own $1 million mansion. Yeah, not a typo, $1. 2 million, and find a full-on dinner party happening in your living room. Your home, uninvited guests. And at the center, like some B-movie villain, is Cordelia Thorne, the nightmare president of the HOA, the woman who's fined me for everything from doormat scuffs to the wrong color holiday lights. She's strutting around in my dead grandmother's bathrobe, sipping my vintage wine, hosting her entitled friends in my house like it's just another Tuesday. I know, it sounds made up. But yeah, that happened. So what does Cordelia do the second she sees me? Keys in hand, jaw on the floor. She screams into her phone, 911. A burglar is breaking in. Never mind the fact that it's, me, the actual owner, standing right there. Cops show up, lights blazing, ready to cuff me on my own front porch. But Cordelia? She made one fatal mistake. She forgot about my 24/7 security cameras, recording her every move, every illegal entry. Every bottle of my wine she popped open. The footage was as clear as a Colorado winter morning. Cordelia and her cronies living it up in my house. What happened next? Let's just say, it wasn't pretty. Nuclear revenge, charges, total annihilation. But let me back up a sec, because if you're sitting there thinking, how does a person end up in a suburban hellscape like this? Well, buckle up. My name's Braxley Whitmore. I'm 47. I wrangle cybersecurity disasters for Fortune 500s by day. And, plot twist, 3 months ago I inherited my grandma's gorgeous, old stone Tudor mansion in Millfield Heights, Colorado. We're talking hand-carved woodwork, mountain views, gardens that would make Martha Stewart blush. Should have been a dream. Instead, I stepped right into the jaws of HOA hell. Millfield Heights isn't just any suburb. It's where rich retirees go to polish their lawns to a mirror shine and judge your Christmas lights like it's a competitive sport. Average home values around 600 grand, and the neighbors? Mostly empty nesters with too much time and not enough business. The HOA was founded in '87, supposedly to maintain community standards, but in reality, it exists to feed Cordelia's addiction to petty power. 58 years old, 6 years at the helm, treats the place like she's the Queen of England. By day, she's a struggling realtor, lost her big client when the market crashed. By night, she's a clipboard-wielding maniac, measuring your grass with a ruler, handing out citations for mailbox fonts she finds aggressive. Her house? A plain little ranch worth half of mine, but you can smell the jealousy every time she walks by. The campaign against me started 8 weeks after I moved in. Cordelia fined me $75 for a garden gnome, said it was 2 inches over the height limit. 2 inches. I didn't even know there was a law for that. Next up, 75 more for excessive wear patterns on my doormat. It's a doormat. You wipe your shoes on it. Apparently, that was aesthetic disruption. The last straw? A citation for my porch light, which my grandma handpicked back in the '80s. Cordelia claimed it wasn't period appropriate. She'd show up every morning, 7 a.m. sharp, those sensible shoes crunching leaves, bleach-smelling clipboard at the ready, flanked by her 2 sidekicks, Martha and Bob, peering at my property like detectives at a crime scene. And it wasn't just me. Cordelia had a pattern. She only went after new people, singles, folks who looked too busy or tired to put up a fight. The long-timers with their perfect lawns never got so much as a warning. By October, she'd hit me with 14 violations, nearly $2 grand in fines. And every notice came with the threat of a lien on my home if I didn't pay. I was close to losing it, until Mrs. Cecilia, my neighbor across the street, quietly slipped me a note. She'd caught Cordelia trespassing in my backyard, snapping pictures, building a dossier for God knows what. The scent of her jasmine tea was the only thing calming me down as I realized this wasn't just random harassment. This was a campaign. But then, like fate had a sick sense of humor, my biggest client called. They needed me in Austin for a month-long audit, 45 grand on the table. I almost said no. But I needed cash for legal fees, so I installed basic security cams, photographed every violation notice, and took off. The plan was to be back mid-November. I had no idea Cordelia would take my absence as an open invitation. Fast forward. I finish my contract early, drive through the night, fueled by terrible coffee and adrenaline, only to pull up at my house just before midnight and know, instantly, something's off. My porch lights are on a timer I never set. Cordelia's silver Lexus is parked in my driveway like she owns the place. Through the windows, movement, flickering lights, laughter. I can hear classical music drifting out. Through a window I know I locked. Blood ice cold. I creep up to the kitchen window, phone in hand. Cordelia's in there, wearing my grandma's apron, laying out cheese and crackers on my best china, entertaining her friends, my house, my food, my life. Her cronies are everywhere. Martha on my antique sofa, Bob leafing through my family photos. And Cordelia? She's spinning a story to her guests. Poor Braxley asked me to house sit. He worries about break-ins. The gall. She'd crafted an entire narrative where she's the hero, I'm the anxious homeowner. It was almost impressive in a sick way. My cybersecurity brain kicked in. Document everything, confront later. I remembered Grandma's secret coal chute. Hidden door, perfect for surveillance. Heart pounding. I snuck in, recorded everything. Cordelia pouring my $340 Cabernet like it's boxed wine, mail scattered on the table. My grandma's medications tampered with. She wasn't just squatting. She was building a story, making herself the hero, painting me as the flake. It was genius. Evil, but genius. I slipped out, spent the night at a 24-hour diner, uploading footage to every cloud I had, researching Colorado property law. And I found it. Criminal trespass includes not just entering without permission, but staying after your right to be there ends. Cordelia's little house-sitting story was about to become a legal noose. Next morning, I knock on my own front door. Cordelia opens it in my grandma's robe, mug in hand, acting like she's lived there her whole life. Oh, you're back early. I just finished a house inspection. Found several concerning issues. She tried to gaslight me, handing me a folder of fake evidence, photos of loose screws, water damage, clogged gutters. All things she'd obviously staged herself. She accused me of violating travel notification rules, claimed my security cams broke HOA guidelines, told me she'd schedule a board meeting to discuss my neglect. I kept cool, thanked her, and asked for everything in writing, mentioned my lawyer. Her mask slipped. Panic flashed. Then she scrambled to recover. After she left, Mrs. Cecilia, watching from across the street, came over with intel. Turns out, Cordelia had told every neighbor a different story. I'd abandoned the place. I was broke. She was just helping out. She'd even been signing for my packages. Federal crime, by the way. 3 families saw her hauling contractor bags out of my house, claiming it was storage help. This wasn't just squatting. This was a coordinated campaign of theft and manipulation. That night, I started building what we in cybersecurity call a threat profile. Cordelia wasn't some petty dictator. She was a predator who'd found her next victim, and she'd done it before. Mrs. Cecilia brought proof. 2 years earlier, Cordelia had run the same scam on an elderly couple, the Hendersons. Forced them to sell their home for peanuts just to escape her harassment. Pattern recognition. Attack vector. Cordelia had perfected her playbook, and I was her next mark. But I wasn't alone. Mrs. Cecilia connected me with 5 other families who'd been documenting Cordelia's reign of terror, fines, fraud, discrimination. Bob, the retired accountant, showed me financials. $47,000 in fines over 6 years. Only $12,000 ever reached HOA accounts. Dr. Patel had proof of discrimination. Sarah had photos of her kids' chalk drawings that cost them $150. Jennifer had audio of Cordelia threatening foreclosure over a vegetable garden. Every document was a nail in Cordelia's coffin. Here's the kicker. While going through Grandma's papers, I found the HOA's original founding documents, yellowed, smelling of lavender. And right there, Section 47C. HOA authority expires after 40 years unless renewed by 75% of residents in the final year. I did the math. October 1987 plus 40 is October 2027. It was now November. The HOA had been legally dead for 3 weeks. Every fine, every violation, every threat Cordelia made was invalid. My grandma, always 10 steps ahead, had left me a nuclear option. I organized everything. Security footage, financials, legal docs, testimonials. Set up hidden cameras in the house, backup servers, blockchain timestamps. Hell, if Cordelia wanted a fight, I was bringing the full arsenal. Mrs. Cecilia gathered witness statements. Bob tracked the money. Dr. Patel documented health impacts. Sarah and Jennifer canvassed for more victims. We built an ironclad case. Then came the night of the emergency meeting. Cordelia tried every trick: venue changes, fake police reports, phony evidence, even tried to break into my house again at 3 a.m. But the pressure backfired. Residents showed up in droves. Media rolled cameras. Officer Rodriguez confirmed Cordelia's pattern of harassment and false claims. As I presented the evidence, expired HOA, trespass footage, financial fraud, the whole room turned. Cordelia screamed, denied, doubled down, but it was over. Officer Rodriguez stood up, handcuffs ready. Mrs. Thorne, you're under arrest for breaking and entering, mail theft, fraud, and conspiracy. The entire auditorium watched as she was led away, the air electric with relief and vindication. In the aftermath, the community rallied. We dissolved the HOA, replaced it with a council focused on real improvement. Settlements covered legal fees and funded gardens, scholarships, safety programs. Cordelia's license was revoked. She fled, disgraced, never to terrorize another neighborhood. Standing in my garden, the scent of Grandma's roses in the air, I realized home isn't about property value. It's about neighbors who have each other's backs. We'd faced down a tyrant, not by matching her cruelty, but by outsmarting her, documenting everything, and standing together. But here's the thing. Cordelia weaponized the desire to be a good neighbor, twisted it into a tool of control. And that's the real danger, when we hand over power without asking questions. Every neighborhood has a Cordelia, every workplace, every family. So I gotta ask, when you run into petty tyranny, do you roll over, or do you fight back, with patience, with receipts, with a little help from your friends? Drop your own HOA nightmares or little dictator stories in the comments. I want to hear how you dealt with it. And hey, if you believe in standing up for what's right, even if it means shaking things up, hit subscribe, stick around. Justice is more fun when it's served cold, together.